The following Pulpery podcast is brought to you by The Goddamn Sauce. Go to thegdsauce.com for details to order all the sauces to replace your ordinary condiments. Welcome to the Pulpery Sportscast with Brock and Ben. This podcast is where we discuss the sports headlines that intrigue us and those little stories that enrage us.
All right, we're back from hiatus. We will try to shake the rust off real quick.
It's going to be real rust.
Real rusty. Well, I mean, you know what? It makes sense that we'll be rusty because the United States women's national team was rusty as fuck. So we'll just start there.
Yeah. Good lead-in. Nice job.
Hey, man, I had it written down.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
No, I did not. I did not.
I planned that.
I wish. So the first match, and of course it was hard to watch these matches. I watched highlights. The Netherlands, whichever one was in prime time that one night.
Vietnam.
That was the first match, and then the other two were in the morning.
Right.
3 were all in the morning.
Or like one was at 2, one was at 4.
Yeah, and then the knockout one was at 4 as well.
Yeah.
Fuck. The same day that Leeds played. We'll get to them. So they were rusty against Vietnam. Thank God they played Vietnam.
Right.
And I can't remember her name. Sophia Smith?
Yeah.
The young, I'll tell you right now. So, yes.
Oh,
good.
yeah. The one that was on
Sophia
all the
Smith.
commercials. Yeah.
She's the next face. Like she's the next Alex Morgan.
Well, so like even before play started, I remember having a bad feeling with all the Nike commercials.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, okay, y'all are leaning into this three-peat way too much.
Correct.
But
not enough to get all the hate from everybody.
Right.
But yeah, no, that always happens. And then when you 7 times a match, maybe more, constantly say they're going for the three-peat, no team has ever done it, men or women's. When you say that a dozen times a match,
I believe that's called jinxing it.
Yeah, it's like saying he's on a no hitter. Oh, one more out closer. One more. All you got to do is get through 6 more, 5 more, 4. Oh, he fucked it up. It's the same thing. Like
those shitty announcers who started in the 5th.
I did the Donald Trump hands. Fuck.
It's on video now.
I know. That's why I said fuck. So yeah, there was way too much. I did that too. That you were doing it. It was like you did it and I did. Yeah, it was just a little too much.
Yeah.
And the rest of the world, I think, are sick of it. We're like,
not only. I don't say. I can't think of another phrase. They're not only sick of it. Is that the rest of the world has caught up.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you're talking about a 12-year run.
And mostly this, like you had Amy Wambach go away and Alex Morgan come in and Hope Solo, but it always seemed like Julie Ertz hadn't played in 2 years and they trotted her out there to play central defender.
It's almost like a Berhalter move.
Yeah, and I mean I get it. But she played like a defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
You expect her to play center mid or center back. After not playing a match for 2 years. Well, but I don't know. So, yeah, the team was a bit of a not a shit show, but they were, as the kids would say, they were a little sus headed into that tournament.
They didn't have the Riz.
No.
Even though they had the drip coming in.
Oh, they did. Which is another reason, like, I get it.
We're
like,
so
if it was last World Cup and you were just, like, blowing everybody away, I get it. This World Cup, you might have just pumped the brakes until maybe the semifinals.
Well, and it's a lot of that made me think about that documentary they had out a couple of years ago, the LFG documentary, which was, I don't disagree with anything that they were saying in it about getting equal pay to the men's.
Makes sense. I get it.
But and we talked. I think I mentioned it a couple of years ago, like in our first season.
Oh, that's it. It was a season.
But it seemed like they weren't, like they were being influenced. They were being given, like, no one brought up the point in the whole documentary until the last 5 minutes. Oh, you signed this CBA, and you have to wait for it to expire. Like, that movie could have been an infomercial.
Yes.
Instead of an hour and a half.
Here's what this is ultimately going to happen.
Yeah, if they had a labor relations lawyer in there.
But they didn't.
No, they had PR people. And get out there, talk about it, and that's great.
All we need to do is get eyeballs on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And same with this is that I believe they had so many hype people, or one of the things could have been they had so many hype people. Yeah.
Exactly.
And that they go in thinking like, oh, this might be a walk in the park.
They also had a new manager.
Right.
Who I don't even know who he was.
They didn't.
Was he Russian? Because that would have been a chef's kiss on top of everything.
Well, I mean, honestly speaking, I mean,
he could be American, but he has a Russian accent. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Well, I was just going to say, like, that's where I think Fox screwed up, is that they never did replays in the evening.
No, they did once.
Yeah.
The Netherlands match.
Well, and usually they'd have it on FS1, but you go in, like, it would have been nice if you had that coverage and all those profiles and stuff like that, so we could have known, didn't have to get up at 1 in.the.morning or stay up.
Or listen to Alexi Lawless.
So, but as
that ginger.
As you pointed out.
Sorry.
Well, no, I mean, he said some dumbass shit, too.
He always does.
But as you pointed out, to win 3 World Cups in a row is nearly impossible.
Well, at this point, it's been proven impossible.
Right. And when you have a team in transition from the older group that was
world beaters anymore.
Yeah, that brought them, that started this current run.
Yeah.
And then you have these young, 18 to 22-year-olds who are going to be good.
And I get there's always a transition year.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might should have slowed down on the hype train.
Sure.
And I get it. You've got to get people invested in the women's game that's being played on the other side of the world on a completely different day that you want to watch it. True.
No, I don't know.
I'm just saying.
Facts.
Right. So I get it. You want to drum up business, but Fox, did they play one match on regular Fox?
The first match. That was at 8 o'clock. Yeah.
That was the only one.
Yeah.
You would figure, like you just said, you would put them in prime time.
Yeah, or replay it. I mean, they do that with when the Olympics is in some weird ass time zone.
They replay it.
Yeah,
even though
in prime time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And that includes like dressage and bullshit like that. Like you got to watch the people ski and shoot guns.
I love that shit, but they were putting that in prime time.
Yeah.
Yes, and they threw fucking curling on. The Ocho.
Yeah.
Curling should be in fucking prime time. Every time.
But like going back to like the Australian Olympics, right?
Right.
Like all those swimming competitions, that's how they replayed it in prime time. So people, even though they knew who won, you wanted to see how bad Michael Phelps beat everybody.
And then it was you have time to produce those segments.
Sure.
Didn't do it with the women's team. So
No.
they just fumbled this thing the entire way before they even got on the pitch.
But it's one where I don't, and looking at them after losing on those penalty kicks, which there were some bad
Rapinoe's was bad.
Bad, yeah.
Like
she's better than that. Not to dig it in on her, but yeah.
Not this World Cup, she was trash.
That was like Patrick Bamford bad.
It was bad. Even her play on the pitch was bad.
Yeah.
Like she couldn't keep up anymore. She just seemed a step slow.
Yeah.
And some people, when they slow down, Andre Pirlo, or Luka Modric.
Yeah.
When they get older, they slow down and they can see the game better, which makes sense. You just can't physically keep up, but she couldn't even do that.
Or when you're playing out on the wing, that is really hard.
Right.
Like you need to drop into the middle.
But still,
if you're doing that, yeah.
Well, the
I
manager,
mean, that's how Modric is such a genius still.
The manager should know that you can't put an old person out there.
Yeah.
I think Real Madrid tried it this summer. They had Modric on the wing because they had one of those two kids that have Kamavinga or something. I'm getting off subject. But, yeah. But she is no Luka Modric.
No.
At all. So, all right, we'll get to the matches. Beat Vietnam, expected, although I think everybody was thinking we'd score 8.
Yeah.
Give me a fucking break. Lackluster draw against the Netherlands?
Well,
lackluster. And that was a replay of the last World Cup's final.
That one was only saved because that pretty much was almost turned into an MMA fight at a certain point.
Yes.
Han.
What was her name?
The one with the header? Yeah.
Yeah. She was fighting a teammate, by the way, at her club. They were fighting.
Yeah.
And then 30 seconds later, her next touch is a goal.
Yeah. And then they were hugging at the end of the match.
Of course.
But what I found funny about that was you don't normally equate the Dutch with trying to be like physically intimidating.
No, they're the Johan Cruyff model of total football, right? No.
We're gonna beat you with speed and with movement, not with I'm gonna elbow you in the
right.
Fucking
It's like I'm gonna but that becomes a theme because Portugal tried to do it too, stay rough, and Sweden definitely did. And you don't think of the Swedes like that either.
No.
But they were physical. Like it seemed like every time Sophia Smith, touched the ball, or Alex Morgan, they were getting chopped down.
Yeah.
Hey man, it works. It's Jose Mourinho ball.
Well, and I will say you did point out, or when we were texting back and forth over the break, you did point out that offense is good, but the defense was not.
They slow.
Yeah.
Out of position, and I hate to put this all on Julie Ertz, but when you're the center back, you have got to control the pitch.
Yeah.
Especially the back line, and they were out of position. Now, they were able to get away with it pretty much all the time. The Netherlands made them pay. Is that the only goal they gave up? It is. The only goal they gave up. So they were able to make up for it because our goalie's awesome and other shit works out. But
man, that Swedish goalie
was
playing on a whole other level.
Yes. She woke up that day and it's like, watch this. Seriously.
No, I mean, it was like...
there were a couple shots that I
was like Shiesty in there.
Yeah, it's like... Yeah.
Like turning on her head. And
it's like prime Gigi Buffon. He retired, God rest his soul. We love you. And then immediately played football on the beach with a bunch of 12-year-olds. Because, Yeah. I'm Gigi. I'm hanging out on the beach. Oh, wait. Let me go play football with these
I've been paid, so who gives a shit?
Do whatever the fuck I want in Italy. Go walk around naked for the rest of my life in Italy, and nobody would care. So, the penalty shootout, 1 minute left. All right. When they missed, when that one girl, God bless her soul, shot it into orbit, I was like, okay, we're winning. No big deal.
Yeah.
We're up a goal, we're up a shot, and we have one to come. And no, then it's like we forgot how to take penalties.
Yeah.
And then the soccer gods, after winning 2 World Cups in a row, went, watch this.
Bink, 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 bink.
It's like what you see in a commercial where it's like the ball goes up and everybody's celebrating, and then it's like the backspin puts it in the goal.
Yeah.
No, she saved it. It went straight up, hit the post. As it's coming down, she swats it out of the goal. And I have seen the picture, the goal line technology, and it's like...
We have been making some changes here at Pulpery. We've shortened our episodes to 30 minutes so you can catch everything we say on the drive home, on a lunch break, or at any other time. We've added video to our repertoire, and we are expanding our social media presence. So check us out on YouTube and smash that subscribe button and use the likes. You can get our socials from the link in our bio, and be on the lookout for our new politics cast. If you need a change for your taste buds, go to thegdsauce.com and change the way you think about the way you eat. From their signature goddamn sauce to their ghost pepper sauce, they have everything you need to rethink condiments. Help support an independent business by getting rid of your same old condiments and boss up with the goddamn sauces.
Oh, Leeds. Okay, Leeds are back in the second division, the championship.
Yeah.
Or like they say in WWE, championship. So, yeah. They looked good. They gave up... put it this way. If Ayling isn't on the team, and we have an able-bodied back...
Sure.
What did he play? Right back? We win that match 2-0.
Yeah.
Fucking Ayling. I hate that we haven't gotten 90 minutes into the season, not counting the League Cup, because I'm sure he didn't play today. And I'm already bitching about Ayling. And I love the guy. Love him.
Yeah, I think it's tough to do it because, like, particularly those guys that were like, no, I'm still with the team, making sure you get in. And
then change his position.
I was gonna. That's what I was gonna say. Take
away his defensive responsibilities.
Yeah. Put him in the midfield on the wing.
But I get and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, we have a lot of wing. Like I forgot, Harrison was still on the team.
Yeah.
Completely forgot.
And Dallas should be coming back.
Correct. Which makes the Cooper injury worse. Like our defense.
What if you move Ayling into Cooper's position, where he's not having to run as much and he stays back?
So when Cooper and Dallas were both hurt last year, and Sturrock was hurt for those few games, they slid him into the middle, and Firpo and Vober played on the outside. Yeah. So he can do that. I'd rather him be there and just be stationary, and you just don't let anybody back here.
I mean, to use hockey terminology, he's really good at the poke check.
Yeah.
And
play a defensive midfielder. Like
that keeps him from running up and down the field.
Well, and he can't keep up anymore.
Yeah.
Like that one guy was wearing him out on the wing. Like so much so that when the ball got to that side of the pitch, I went, fuck, here we go.
Well, and if we see that, every coach and staff knows that.
Like, all you got to do is, all right, get the ball, slow play out. They're going to press you a little bit. If you put it into the right-hand corner, I guarantee you our winger's faster than Ayling. And
you can just dump and chase down the field.
Exactly, which is what they were doing because we had all of the possession in the world.
Yeah.
So when the ball got turned over, they just had guys flying up the wings, put the ball over the top. There you go. That's what was happening at the end of last year.
Yeah. Well, and I think what you're also seeing is, I can't remember if we really complained about it.
Oh, I'm sure we did.
In the previous, but like, so that you have a similar structure to when you were back in the championship the previous time, and then the couple of years you were in the Premier League.
Correct.
It just sort of shows that they still had a championship mentality, and they didn't go. I mean, it worked well for one season.
They didn't really add any impact. They tried to with Weston McKennie and Adams and Aronson and Vober.
Yeah.
But they had too much turnover in the manager.
Yeah.
So you've got all these guys, all these chess pieces, and this manager wants them. This manager doesn't necessarily, and then you get an injury in there, and then, everything's fucked.
Yeah. So, and that's what I'm hoping the new ownership and the new structure they're bringing in. I still don't know if they have a director of operations yet.
They were talking about a president, I believe, or what would be a CEO? No, I think it's the president of the club. I think there's...
That guy's still the same, I think.
No, I thought they cleared everything out when...
No, they kept that Angus dude.
So is he still the director of football operations?
No, he's the spot above that. So I guess it would be the president.
Okay.
Like he's the in-house guy.
And then you have what amounts to a GM, which is the director of football, whatever.
I don't know if they brought in anybody there, but looking back at it, I don't think Orta ever got out of that mindset of like, and even to Bielsa played in that of like, oh, we're just going to bring up the young guys, or we're going to get this young flashy talent.
Well,
and to be sustainable in the Premier League, you need that, like late 20s.
Well, you need like 5 guys coming up.
Yeah.
That will be ready in a year or two, or you can plug in.
But you still need, you need those middle-aged soccer players.
Yeah, the veterans.
Yeah.
Not alien.
But like 80s,
Yeah.
in their FIFA ranking and whatever. But
the thing with the big clubs is they're able to field 2 really good teams.
Yeah.
The smaller clubs have to get creative with that. And Leeds and how do you pronounce the old owner's name?
Oh God, did I already forget it?
Adri something.
Radriani.
Thank you. They spent so much effort to get to the Premier League, and remember, they lost a shit ton of money before they got there from COVID. So they were still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I think the year after COVID helped them in the Premier League. No doubt about it. They were top 10, right around 10. I don't even remember. It's been 4 years now.
Their first year up, they ended up in 11th.
Okay. And then after that,
it was fighting regular.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see now that we have everything's new. Willie Noto is probably one of my favorite football players ever, and they better not let him go. I hear Aronson is he hurt?
No, he's out on loan in Germany.
So that's official?
Yeah.
Okay. And
Adams is hurt through the international break.
Correct.
That's when he's expected to return. But there's also rumors like people are eyeing him.
What was it, Chelsea?
Yeah.
Bournemouth maybe even?
But, I mean, he's done those interviews where he said, like, we're going to make it back.
So if you put him in there, Gray was the other kid that I liked.
Yeah. But there's a lot of kids. I mean, Gelhardt's back up, or he's back on the team. He's coming off the bench, but
Somerville is going to drive me crazy.
Yeah.
He's like the new Rodrigo, or he's going to drive me crazy.
Yeah, like when he's good, he's like when Rafinha was consistent.
Right.
But you're right. It's not like when Rafinha was bad, it's because they weren't getting him in the ball in the right spots.
Correct.
But this is like he's getting the ball in good spots, but then he's taking that extra touch.
Or 6.
Yeah.
Or like I've got space for a shot, but I'm going to pass it to the guy 12 yards away. Like, stop it, man. They had so many of those tiki-takas at the top of the box, and I'm going, shoot. No, don't pass it. Shoot. Don't pass it. And then the ball ends up down the other end of the pitch.
And that's what I'm wondering about, like, Farke. Is he going, like, no, like, that's not German machine ball.
Well, I did notice German machine ball, though.
Yeah.
Like, the possession was there.
Yeah.
The shape was there.
But it should be, like, 2 passes shot once you get in,
Correct.
in the vicinity of the box.
And they were good, and they were trying to get the shot, but they just still wanted to be tiki-taka with it.
Sure.
Just shoot the fucking ball.
That's going to take a while to work out of them, though.
Especially when you've got... It's like the NFL and a quarterback, like the window is smaller. Like, the window to shoot is smaller at this level.
Yeah.
So, like, when you've got you've got to be able to get the ball off. That's what Messi's so good at. It's like, oh, there's no way he could... Oh, my God. All right, let's move on to...
You want to do that?
The Saudis versus the MLS as and I'm going to say this, quote-unquote, retirement league MLS.
Yeah.
So Messi is...
But see, like, here... Just in starting with that statement... How is the Saudi league not a retirement league?
It is. Oh, well,
they're picking up aging players. Like, I mean, as much as we love Benzema, he doesn't have more better days in front of him.
Nope.
Ronaldo doesn't have more better days in front of him.
Henderson, like all those guys. Sadio Mane.
I mean, the guys that they picked up
are all on the older end.
Sure.
I don't know of any guy who is close to his prime that signed, but still, they're trying to sign those guys.
Sure.
Like Mbappe told them to go fuck themselves. Yeah. Good on you, kid. But
he finally got a backbone about something.
Something. Like, smoke a cigarette, have some cheese. The Saudis go, he's like, fuck you. Fuck you. Which is perfect. I love you, kid. But they're just like throwing out money. I don't know how that is. I don't know.
Well, I mean, we know how the Saudis are throwing out money. But
MLS, on the other hand, has gotten a little more strategic.
I will say this, though. So what the or at least for us, what the MLS has that the Saudis don't, I'm not seeing highlights even from the Saudi leagues.
No, you know what I see? I see highlights of Ronaldo.
Yeah, but like
that's it.
That's not popping up on my refined X feed or whatever. No. But I like and actually not even on Twitter X. I'm not on a bunch of MLS stuff, but
neither am
it's
I.
constant Messi.
Well, of course, everything's Messi now.
Yeah.
Chiellini, but I'm on a lot of Juventus
so
stuff
that's,
too.
But you're talking about that. I mean,
people forget that Sergio Busquets is on that team with him,
and they're trying to get chompers on that team.
And DJ Yeldon is on that team, and they still suck. Well, if the conspiracy theories are to be believed, MLS is going to fix that because.
Well, but I think
they have a remote control football. Fucking idiots.
I think I've seen Berkey make some saves this year that would prove that wrong. But
right.
But what I think is the big thing, not so much right now, is Messi showing the world like how well he could play in the MLS. It's showing the MLS owners, if you go out and invest, and now you see that Apple is willing to help you with it, Adidas,
and ticket sales and merch, like all of that shit. They were a mid team.
Adidas is on back order for Messi jerseys for like the next year and a half.
Yeah, it's like you got to inherit football tickets.
Well, and that's what I'm surprised is that there's not some MLS, particularly one of the struggling big city ones like Chicago.
Why wouldn't New York try it?
Or
Philadelphia.
Go after Mbappe. Like
I have heard that
throw a fuck ton of money at him.
Like people are starting to think Neymar's another name that's popped up because he's told PSG he doesn't want to be there anymore. So imagine that. And water's wet, right? But still, if you got names like that popping, no one in the Premier League, because the Premier League's willing to pay. If Bournemouth outspins Juventus and Bayern Munich together, something is drastically wrong with the sport.
Yeah,
drastically. But maybe MLS can get out of that European model of all the Premier League taking all the air out of the room.
Yeah.
And you get a handful of guys over here. The league's not bad.
I was going to say that
football itself isn't bad.
That's why the Premier League has been able to be what it has been for so long. Is they can outbid everybody.
Correct.
But if we,
then not care, like they outbid for I don't know, Matt Ryan, and he doesn't, that's that.
Well, and then
Matt Ryan, the football player. But that's.
And then too, you get in that position, I should say, and so then what's stopping Pepe from jumping over and coaching an MLS team if he knows he has an unlimited bank account?
I mean, that's all he needs. It's like, I lost one match. Hey, boss, I need you to write some more of that oil money. Yeah, there you go. That check. I need 5 more Hollands.
Or give me some of that app money out from Silicon Valley that he got. Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
It's ruining it. But MLS has it. They have, the window is open.
Yeah.
And the season's different.
Right. Although that is the problem. You got to play in America during the summer.
Yeah, and
in outdoor stadiums in the middle, like one of the St. Louis City games, I think it was like 100. The following Pulpery podcast is brought to you by The Goddamn Sauce. Go to thegdsauce.com for details to order all the sauces to replace your ordinary condiments. Pulper is a privately produced podcast by Brock Ryder and Ben Grimmy. On social media and photography by Beck Ryder. Original music by the Heisenberg Compensators.